Again, stand up when you're finished. Bless you. Also have your tickets for those of you who have finished your Imagine Math as of this morning. Cooper B, Jason, just hang on to them, you'll be able to take it down at the end of class or on your way to school. Corbin, Olivia. Rena, Cora. Hensley, Jeremiah. Jack, Haley. LeBay, Caleb. They're all right there. Here, Taylor. Mason, Alexa, Brock, and Ace. Easy, Taylor. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started with the warm-up. Should not be taking us this long. Alright, Keselowski converts 16 out of 20 field goal attempts. This breaks the record by making blank percent. Alright, so to complete the newspaper caption above, would we need to find the percent, or sorry, the part, the percent, or the whole? So, we're going to do the stand up, sit down thing again. For the part, stand up if you picked part. Alright, stand up if you picked percent. Alright, so we are finding the percent. Now, I will let you know this is the easiest one to do. Out of the percent, the whole, and the part, being able to identify if we're looking for the percent is really easy because, why? Right?
It's missing the percent question.
Right. It's going to say blank percent or what's the percent. I mean, it's going to be very evident that you are looking for the percent. The part and the whole, that gets a little bit harder to figure out the difference between those two. All right, so what were the clues that led you to your decision in question one? Cooper?
The blank was right before the percent.
Right. Blank before percent. All right, anybody else have something different? Hunter?
The article says 16 and 20, which we could easily tell that's a bud wolf.
16 and 20 are what?
We could tell that put some holes.
Okay, our parts. All right, and what does neither one of those numbers have? What do neither one of them have, Jack?
Say it right next to it.
Right, they don't have a percent sign. All right. So just like yesterday, if you did the math for this one, don't raise your hand. Says what percentage of his field goal attempts do you think Jackie Kickle Wacky made these names? Jason.
90.
You said 90?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Michaela. 85. And we're talking about percents, right?
Yes.
Just want to make sure. Brock.
I
around 80%? Okay, Olivia? 70%? River, did you have your hand up? Okay, Rena?
About 75%.
75. Jackson, was that yours?
Yes.
Okay, Christian?
78%.
78%. Anybody else? Alright, and then how did you get your answer for number 3? So what was your process for your answer? Jackson?
So I recognize. Oh, okay. So you want me to like explain how to get it, or?
I want you to explain to me how you got it.
Okay. So I had 16. I just wrote out 16 20ths, and then 80 100. Oh wait. I put a blank and then 100. So for meters. But I knew that 20 to get to 100 you have to multiply by 5. So then I had to multiply 16 by 5, and I got 80.
Which gives you,
80.
which gives you,
80%.
okay? Did anybody do it a different way? Ace?
I divided 20 by 2 to get 10, and then I multiplied that by 10 to get 100, and then I
Hold on,
divided.
wait. So you did 20 divided by 2, you got 10, and then what?
And then I multiplied that by 10 to get 100,
Okay,
and then divided 16 by 2 to get 8, and then I multiplied that by 10 to get 80, and then 80 out of 100.
okay. Alright, Jack?
I just did 5 times 20, which equals 100. So you had to do the same thing for both of them. So I just did 16 times 5, which equals 80.
Okay, Christian?
I don't do the same thing. I divided 100 by 20 to get 5. And multiplied that by 20.
Okay? Yep.
I did it where, because I know that 4 goes into 25 times, so every 4 would be 20, and since it's 4 times 4, it was 4 times 20, which is 80%.
Okay. Alright, very cool. Michaela?
I knew that 20 and 16 were multiples of 4, so I did 20 divided by 4 is 5, and 100 divided by 5 is 20. So, in 20 and 16, there are 4 left. Oh yeah, so like, 20 and 16 was 4 left to go from 16 to 20, which is 1/5 of 20. So 100 minus 1/5 of 100, which is 20, is 80.
That's a lot of work. But yes, you are correct. Alright, lots of different ways, and that's why I do like percents, because it's not, yes, we have these 3 ways up here if you want to pick one, but you also find your own way, and as long as that works for you, works for me. Alright, when you get this next sheet, you're taking it, and you are going to fold it over like this, so this is all that you see. If it is not folded over, I am going to come by, I'm going to pick up your paper and I'm going to throw it in the garbage, which means you have to write all of this. And I will not slow down. Alright, so you will notice that the top part of each one of these is going to be exactly the same as the one from the previous day. So this top section will always be the same. And really and truly, the process will be fairly similar as well, just we're plugging in a different number in different places, depending on if we're finding the part, the percent, or the whole. So today, we are looking for the percent. Yesterday was the part, And obviously tomorrow, hint, hint, wink, wink, will probably be the only thing left. But again, we're simply going to fill in this top part, and it is repetitive, but it's repetitive for a reason. It says problems like the football problem in the warm-up are problems where we are trying to find the percent. To this we will use, so what does the P stand for? Raise your hand. Mason. Heart. Heart. What does the W stand for, Ethan? What does this symbol stand for, Jackson? And then 100 always goes in the bottom right? Alright, since we know how to solve proportions, all we need to do is substitute the two values we are given into the proportion and solve for the variable. And again, raise your hand and tell me, what does variable mean? Michaela?
Like a letter that represents a number.
Yes, a letter that represents a number that what?
We do not know yet.
We don't know. Alright, so we are using the warm-up problem again to demonstrate and go through our notes. So it says 16 is what percent of 20? Determine whether you're looking for the part, the percent, or the whole. And we recognize that we're looking for the percent. Substitute the two known values into the percent proportion equation and leave a variable in the place of the unknown value. Real quick, I want you to scribble that little arrowed section out. Scribble it out. Alright, so yesterday, if you look back at your notes real quick, you don't have to, I'll show you from here. This part down here, we come on.
Oh my god.
Alright, so down here, we substituted in for the W, which was our whole, and the percent, because we're looking for the part. Today, every single problem that you do is going to what? What are we going to be substituting in for? Haley. Well, the variable is going to go for our percent, so what two values are we going to be substituting in for? So, yesterday we were given the whole and the percent, right? So we substitute those two in. So today, if we're looking for the percent, what places, let me phrase that, my bad on wording, what places are we going to be substituting into? It's okay, it's alright. Let's see, Gabriel?
The part and the whole.
Right, so your two numbers, part and the whole. This is where it does get a little bit difficult because you have to be able to determine which one is the part, which one is the whole. Alright, so over here it says 16 is the part, 20 is the whole. So it becomes 16 to 20, and then our unknown is the x over the 100. It says solve the proportion for the variable, which is the percent sign, using any of the methods that you have previously learned. Now, this one, the up and down method, doesn't mean you can't use it. It just means that sometimes it doesn't always work because of the numbers that you have, like 16 and 20 are not, they're not real nice numbers. You're gonna end up with decimals, and I don't know if I said this or didn't say this yesterday. Your goal when you're dealing with percents is to keep whole numbers, and the easiest whole numbers that you can find. Can you use decimals? Absolutely. Can you use fractions? Absolutely. Do I recommend it? No. Not at all. Okay? Alright, so we're going to plug in our information. We have 16 and we have 20. So going from the side to side method, what do we multiply 20 by to get 16? Corbin. I'm sorry, what do we multiply 20 by to get 100? So if I multiply this by 5, I know I have to multiply the top by 5. 16 times 5, raise your hand. Haley,
80.
gives you 80. Alright, so our answer is 80%, which is what we came up with originally anyways. Alright, cross product method. Again, we're plugging in our numbers. We're going to cross multiply and then we're going to divide. So when I cross multiply, I'm going to do 100 times 16, which gives me 1,600. And then I'm going to divide 1,600 divided by, divided by 20, which gives me what? Gives me 80. Now, be very careful, because did you see what I did there? I'm so used to cross multiplying and then dividing by 100 from yesterday that I automatically went to that divide by 100. And you're like, if you do that, you're going to be like, well, that doesn't make sense because I got the same answer I started with. And that should like ring a bell to you and be like, oh, I forgot. When you cross multiply and you're going from the part to 100, it's here, and then it's divide by that number up there. So that arrow, when I draw it up or I draw it down, is telling you what you're dividing by. Does that make sense? So yesterday, in our notes, I'll go down here again. See how I drew my arrow down? So we cross multiplied up and then down, which told me I was dividing by 100. Yesterday we always divided by 100 if we did our cross product. This time today, it depends on what this bottom number is what you're going to divide by. Does that make sense? All right. Now, for your practice problems, you are not doing them right now. What must you do on your practice problems that some of you guys missed this set of directions yesterday? Cooper. Everyone show their work. They did a good job with that. I'm actually like super proud of y'all. Christian. Right. I want you to try at least one time for each one of those. So if that means you do 3 and you use one for a different one for the first 3 and then the rest of them you use whatever you're most comfortable with, that's fine. But I want you to try all 3 at least once. Okay? That's my only criteria that you must do. All right. Now, in your notebook, get to the right page. While I'm about to pass out the next warm-up and the next warm-up, I want you gluing in your warm-up on this side, and I want you gluing in these practice problems on notes and practice problems on this side. It doesn't require us to talk.
Grab it and we thought I had it in my nails, and then he was like doing this way because it was about
start your warm up, so all you really have to do is change whole to percent, and then on the other page, just change percent. So, once you get these glued in and you have your paper, go ahead and get started. If you accidentally glued in the papers that we just did on the wrong pages, all you have to do is erase the word percent and write whole, and then on the other side, erase the word whole and write percent. It's not a huge deal. Stand up when you have your warm-up done. Again, make sure you stand up when you are done with your warm-up. Can you hear me something?
Trying to find a pencil. Oh, found one.
Alright, let's go ahead and go over this question. So it says 45 students voted for Tamara in the student council election. She receives 15% of the votes. So again, looking at the caption for the school newspaper story above, if we wanted to determine how many people voted in the election, would we be looking for the part, the whole, or the percent? So stand up if you picked part. Stand up if you picked whole. Alright, So yes, we are looking for the whole. Now, what are the clues or clue that led you to this decision? Rob?
It didn't say how many votes there were in all. It just said how many were on there.
Okay, so there wasn't a total. All right. Cora?
After 15, there's the percent sign, so I know the percent was already done.
All right, so you said after 15% there was, or after 15 there was a percent sign, and then what?
So I know that the percent was already done.
Okay. Corbin, why did you pick whole?
I picked blue because it says that there's 40 students that voted for tomorrow, and that it didn't say that there were 48 students that voted tomorrow, and we received 15%.
So you said because it said 45 students voted for Tamara, and what else?
And he received 15%.
Okay, so essentially you're saying, well, 45 students is 15%, so therefore it's not the whole. Got it. Okay. Okay, and then about how many students do you think voted in the election? River. Mason.
About 2%.
Ethan.
280.
Cooper. You said 200? 290? Christian. Jenna Lee.
I had the same question.
Okay. Ace.
I had the same.
Oh, Jackson.
I did
200. That was yours. Jack.
240.
Alright, anybody else? Alright, and then how did you get your answer for number 3? Michaela.
45 divided by 15 is 3 times 150.
Okay. Hunter.
I did 100 times 45 divided by 15.
Okay. Anybody else have something different? Christian.
Since it was 15%, I added a 0 to both numbers, so it was 150. And since there's 3 50s in it, I divided 150 divided by 3.
Start over.
So I got 50%.
15.
Got this 15% and added a 0 to it, same as 150. So I got an extra 0.
Why did you add a 0 to it?
So I could then divide it by 3. So I can get how much 50s.
I would say it's because there's a hundred in it.
Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to understand why you added a 0. Put your hand down.
I could do it mentally. So that's 150, and I found out that
Where are you getting 150 from, babe? That's what I'm
I
trying to
added a
do.
0 to 50.
Why? There's got to be a reason. We can't just pull zeros out of anywhere, right? So why are you adding a 0? I'm not saying you're wrong. I just need you to explain why you're adding a 0.
I would like to add it so I could find out the answer.
Okay, if you can't justify why you do something, then that's where it's a struggle for me to let you keep explaining. Even though I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying the process that I heard was fine. I just need you to explain why you put a 0 on the end of the 15%. And if you can't tell me that, then I don't wanna confuse anybody else.
So I can divide it into
Right, baby, but you can divide 15 by 3.
You said 50.
Oh, okay. I don't understand why you have a 0 on there. And if you can't tell me, then cause I don't wanna confuse people. And maybe everybody knows. That's great. But there's enough people sitting in this class that might not know why you're able to add a 0 to that 15. Does that make sense? Alright, again, multiple different ways that you can find the answer. Ultimately, the answer is 300. Alright, glue that in on your notes page. Or not your notes page, I'm sorry, your warm-up page. Alright, fold this piece of paper over in half, only look at the notes side for me, please. Alright, so top portion again is going to be the same. Problems like the student council election, problem in the warm-up are problems that where we are trying to find holes at Lord. You're going to use the same proportion equation. So the P stands for the part, the whole stands for, sorry, the W stands for the whole, this symbol stands for percent. And what, the 100 always goes where?
Bottom right.
Bottom right. Alright, since we know how to solve proportions, all we need to do is substitute the two values. We are given into the proportion and solve for the variable. Alright, so we are using the example from the warm-up, which is 45 is 15% of what number? It says determine whether you're looking for the part, the percent, or the whole, which in this case we are looking for the whole. Substitute the two known values into the percent proportion equation and leave a variable in the place for the unknown value. So this one, we're going to be plugging in the part, and we're going to be plugging in the percent. So 45 goes there, X goes underneath 45, and your percent goes there. Solve the proportion for the variable using any of the learned methods in previous units. Now, the up and down method does not work for this particular one because why? Not necessarily the whole, when we're looking for the whole, but for this problem, why? Why? Haley,
15 can't divide by 100.
it can divide by 100, but
Oh,
it what?
yeah, it can't go that way.
I mean, you can multiply the other way, but are you gonna have a nice, neat number? No. All right. So again, plugging our information in. How do we go from 15 to 45? What are we gonna do? Jackson?
Multiply by 3.
Okay, which means I multiply the bottom by 3, so 100 times 3 equals 300. So our x equals 300. All right, and then the cross product, putting in our information. We're gonna multiply 45 times 100, which gives us 4,500. And then we're going to divide this number on top, so 45 divided by 15 equals 300. All right, stand up when you have all of this copied down. Okay, have a seat. For the remainder of today, you are going to be doing these practice problems and the practice problems from the last set of notes that we did. What is the rule for this?
At least one of the 3 that we
Right, so you have to try at least one of each for at least one time. Huh? Only the word problems. So today, instead of annotating the actual questions up here, you're only annotating the word problems. So 7 and 8 on both pages. All right? Questions? You may work around the room. You may, or you have to show me when you're finished. And I don't care if you show me after one and then come again after another, or if you want to wait till you're done with both of them. So we have to annotate 7 and 8.
Do you want that turned off?
Huh?
Do you want that turned off?
Yeah, will you hit the stop? Just don't knock it down there.